Hi Jane, how are you?
I'm fine, Stacey. Have you got some good questions for me?
I have, yeah, we've got a few questions this week.
Good.
Uh, our first question is from Pauline Taylor,
All
who
right.
asks,
Yes.
my mare already has Lucy nuts and Timothy grass chop. She is not a good doer and tends to drop weight when competing. Any suggestions, please?
Yeah. Hello, Pauline. I think I remember you from way back. Best wishes to Steve. Yeah, when we compete horses, it's more because we're, competing, but at the same time, they've got less opportunity to eat because of what we're doing. So one of the advantages of simple system feeds is that you can give more literally day by day. So if on that particular day she's working hard, you feed her more. So she might have 2 or 3 times her normal amount of feed on that day. And because you can feed the feed work, keep having small feed, and that will help avoid loss. You haven't mentioned that you're using a balancer, so I would suggest that you include a balancer such as the Simple Balance Plus, and that will help her get the best value out of her feed by helping support her gut microbes and digestion, as well as giving her a lovely coat and everything else. So hopefully, when we can resume competition.
Perfect, thanks Jane.
What's my next question?
Our next question is from Joe Lampy, who asks, can I feed older horses, over 20s, Lucy nuts and Lucy stalks? Some are either Cushing's or laminitic. I ride an older thoroughbred and he's fine, but wind sucks. It's feed I have at home anyway, going to waste.
Yes, all those feeds are suitable for horses with Cushing's and metabolic issues. The only slight caveat I might say is that if the older horses haven't got the best dentition in the world, they might find the Lucy stalks a little bit tough to chew, and if their teeth are worn. And sometimes as they get older, they get little gaps in their teeth called diastema, and the pieces of any chopped feed can get stuck there and they'll find that uncomfortable. But other than that, go ahead, that's fine.
Perfect. Our next question is from Julie, and Julie asks, what's the best feed for a very overweight native 12 years old in light to medium work, not had laminitis, but in a field with lots of grass at night and stabled by day?
Right. When we're worried about the risk of laminitis and they've got too much fat, we need some feed that's going to help along with management to dispel that fat. So my suggestion would be to get this lodge onto MetaSlim, which will help support a metabolic rate. Increase the work if you can. If you can't increase the duration of the work, increase the intensity of the work. And when you've finished working, I'll wash her down with cold water and she'll carry on using berries after work in order to warm up and dry off. Anything that we can do to increase her output of energy is good, as well as feed to support her. So
that's great.
How you go with that one? Yeah.
Thanks, Jane. Our next question is from Penny Rogers, and Penny asks, should I feed MetaSlim before I get a problem with my horse who is very fat and cresty but doesn't get much to eat?
Yeah. Hi, Penny. It's another person I've known for a long time. They're all coming out, aren't they? Penny, if your podgy mare has got a crest, she is at risk of getting laminitis, and my feeling would be to get her on the MetaSlim sooner rather than later. It's much better to avoid a problem if you can and cope with it when you get it. So again, as I said to the previous person, anything that you can do to get a metabolic rate up is good, and the MetaSlim does help with that. And ride her more.
Thanks, Jane. And our last question today is from Kate Wilmington. And Kate asks, do you have any advice for a graduate wanting to enter into the equine or animal nutrition industry?
Yeah, it's a question I'm occasionally asked from time to time. And all I can say is follow your dream, go for it, and get as much experience as you possibly can. When people come to us for feeding advice, it's very often because they've exhausted all other possibilities. They've been on the internet, they've talked to their friends, they've had advice or not from paraprofessionals in the industry. Desperate. So experience to understand their issues and you'll understand issues. So the most experience you can get, the better. Never turn down any opportunity to gain experience. If you have an opportunity to do your BHS exam, I've got a certificate that says I can drive a forklift truck. But it's all grist of the mill. Go to as many shows and events as you can and talk to people there when they're all up and running again. In the meantime, maybe volunteer at an RDA establishment or local rescue place, but get as much experience as possible and broaden your knowledge and depth of knowledge.
That's great advice. Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome.
And that was our last question for today.
Oh, well, let's hope people will send in some questions for next week as well. It's been great talking to people, albeit at a distance.
Definitely. Well, thanks so much, Jane, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks a lot, Stacey. Bye.
Bye.